Hi guys, salut tout le monde.
Salut.
I'm Maïa and I'm French.
I'm Charlie, I'm American.
And we're Street French. Today we're going to watch Lupin, just like we used to watch Emily in Paris.
Yeah, we'll go over some things he says in French and see how you can apply it when you speak French, that sort of thing.
Okay, let's start.
T'as une sale tête, Hassan. T'as une belle gueule, mais t'as une sale tête.
So yeah, tête and gueule just means like face.
Yeah,
or
tête
head.
means head, but it kind of, here she meant it like face, like you got like a...
Meaning like, I can tell you're not feeling well. T'as une sale tête. It could be like, if you're hungover, you can say that to someone, oh, t'as une sale tête. Or if you got into a fight, or if you're sick and you're like very pale, t'as une sale tête.
Also, the word gueule, it means like a muzzle, like the mouth of an animal, but a lot of times they use it to mean like a face, right? And there are a lot of expressions that get that.
Yeah, but the word gueule is quite vulgar.
Yeah, don't use that in French class.
Yeah, so belle gueule means like you look nice, like you have a handsome face, I guess. Here it's not vulgar, meaning rude, but it's like quite informal.
For me, I think it's kind of vulgar. Like I wouldn't say this to my boss. Yeah, and there are a lot of expressions that get this, like faire la gueule, to kind of like to frown or something, or la gueule de bois.
La gueule de bois.
Yeah.
La gueule de bois, we use it. That one is okay.
It depends. Like President Macron, he wouldn't go on TV and say it.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But like we don't have another word to say like avoir la gueule de bois.
Yeah,
so
no,
we
I
use
get that.
And then there's a lot of swear words with the word gueule, and that's really rude. T'as une sale tête, t'as une sale tête, et t'as une belle gueule, t'as une belle gueule.
Yeah. Also notice how she takes like tu as and she says like ta. That's really common in conversational French.
T'as pas de quoi te payer un rasoir?
Si. Figure-toi que j'ai un job.
Un job? Mais c'est formidable ça. Félicitations.
Merci.
Et c'est quoi? Faut que je devine, donc c'est très compliqué et ça va pas durer très longtemps, cela?
So
Yeah.
it's il faut que je devine,
Yeah.
but we say faut que je devine.
Faut que je devine, donc c'est...
Yeah. So she took out il, which is like not standard French, but you know it's like people talk like that. And then
Yeah.
folk is la chute du e. Je devine is also la chute du e.
That's two should be. That's
Yeah.
quite hard.
Yeah. So we have a video about French people slur that sound. He also said job, j'ai un job, which is really common. The real word would be travail.
Figure-toi que j'ai un job.
Un job?
I don't know if it's the same in English, but in French, when we use job, it usually means like a small work. Like it's not something you start then to have a career. It's usually just a quick job to make money.
Oui, bon, comme d'hab. Ce serait bien que t'arrêtes de cacher les choses. Pour toi, pour moi.
We shorten words a lot too. She said comme d'hab, which is comme d'habitude, as usual. Comme d'hab. I think the show is pretty good too to hear all the filler words. She was like, ouais, bon, comme d'hab, quoi. She was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting much from you, kind of.
Ça va changer, Claire.
Oui, ça on verra.
Je vais changer. Tiens, avec un petit peu de retard. La pensée alimentaire.
Just a word that's important and really interesting is tiens. I don't know if you learned that in school necessarily.
No, I learned that after living here for a while.
Yeah.
Tiens, avec un petit peu de retard.
Tiens means like, here you go. Like when you give something to someone.
Yeah. Or you can also say this to the cashier. You can say tenez, and it's like, please take this, almost kind of.
Yeah, that's like more polite.
Yeah,
tenez.
because we use the formal, the vous form, right?
Right. Tiens to a friend, and the polite form would be tenez. Yeah. You see where they are? Yeah, this place is really cool. It's like a hidden Arc de Triomphe. It's not called Arc de Triomphe. It's at Saint-Denis.
Also, that's the actress from Mérine. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, which is a great movie. You guys should watch it.
Plquer.
C'est Perena.
Entre. T'as l'argent?
En fait, j'ai une galère. J'ai pas la thune.
Okay, so already he said c'est qui,
Plquer.
right? And that's really common to ask things in French that way, like it's who, you know, kind of backwards. To us, it seems kind of backwards. It's not standard French. Definitely don't put that like on a French test or
Yeah. Amongst friends, we say that.
Yeah, really conversational.
Like, c'est qui, t'es où, when you're on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. And what else do you say after galère?
En fait, j'ai une galère. J'ai pas la thune.
Galère means like problem, like I had like some trouble or something, like I had an issue, right? When I was at Middlebury, where I'm doing my master's, my teacher said it was like, it comes from the word like galley, right? So like,
Right.
you know, when you're in a galley and you're like rowing the boat, it's like, it's really hard, right? Very difficult. And that's where that comes from, apparently.
J'ai une galère. J'ai une galère, we can say that. Or je galère, so it can also be a verb, galérer, je galère.
Or you can say it like as an adjective, like c'est vraiment galère.
Ouais, c'est galère also, that's true.
Attends, écoutez-moi d'abord. Vincent, écoutez-moi. Il est où mon argent?
Actually, he said it again. Il est où mon argent? It's funny to go from like how we learned French, how to ask questions in French class, and how people do it in real life. Yeah, it's really different. So kind of backwards. It is where my money, right?
Yeah. And we wouldn't say c'est où mon argent. We would say il est où mon argent. I don't know why.
I guess because it's kind of like a thing, right? Like.
But a thing would be c'est. We only use il usually to talk about a person or the weather.
Yeah,
Il
generally.
fait où. Yeah, generally, mainly, yeah. So, il est où mon argent? I mean, it's really not correct to speak like that or to write that in an email or whatever.
But people say this all the time. It's a huge difference between like conversational French, what we say in, you know, with people we know or, you know, someone like that we're like holding over a balcony. And then what we would write in an email or, you know, more formally, right?
De l'oseille comme jamais vous pourrez en dépenser. Sinon, jette-moi tout de suite. Je peux pas rester dans le vide comme ça. J'ai peur.
Allez, Kevin, ramène-le.
J'ai peur.
Just a quick word, Oseille. Oseille is cool, it means money. So it's a slang word for money.
Yeah. He also said la thune, like in the beginning. Yeah, in the beginning. So those are two slang words for money.
Yeah, we have le fric, la thune, l'oseille.
Des sous.
Les sous, yeah.
You say that all the time.
Yeah, I guess we do have les sous, like I say that often. It's informal.
But it's not as informal as la thune. It really depends on context.
Yeah.
Like who you're talking to, right?
Yeah.
Les enchères commencent, puis vous allez au vestiaire.
Là, Vincent et Kevin, vous piquez la tenue des gardes. Vous en aurez besoin pour après. Toi, Rudy, tu files dans la salle de surveillance des caméras. Là-bas, il n'y a toujours qu'un seul gars et il est toujours à l'ouest.
Être à l'ouest is a really good expression too. It means that you're like not paying attention, you have your head in the clouds. Être à l'ouest. I use that a lot.
Also, you said piquer, like to steal.
Vous piquez la tenue des gardes.
Piquer, yeah, it's slang to steal.
Yeah.
Si les caméras tombent en rade plus de 2 minutes, le commissariat est prévenu. Vous avez 7 minutes pour pas vous faire gauler.
Quoi?
C'est chaud, mais ça vous laisse le temps d'arriver là.
Alright, so you said c'est chaud, which is a really good thing to know. It's kind of like it'll be close, like it's a close one, or it means like it's going to be tight, right? It could also mean it's dangerous or sketchy depending on the context. Like you could go maybe like in an area like, oh, c'est chaud, like it's kind of like dangerous or something.
Yeah, I guess here it's like, oh, it's gonna be like tough, it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like if you have a meeting and you say, oh, je sais pas, c'est chaud, like, you know, I don't know if I'll get there in time, kind of.
Yeah, or I don't know if I'll finish in time. Or, yeah.
Not il fait chaud, because that's like it's hot out, right? Talking about the weather.
And il est chaud, that's something else again. That's more like sexual, I guess.
Yeah.
C'est ici que tu bosses. Ça te change de chez nous, hein. Ils sont cool tes patrons.
So he said, tu bosses, he's like, c'est ici que tu bosses, something like that, right?
Ah ouais,
so,
c'est ici que tu bosses.
Yeah. So bosser means to work. It's like travailler. It's a slang way to say work.
And there's the je Dieu again. Que tu bosses.
Yeah.
C'est ici que tu bosses. It becomes c'est ici que tu bosses.
Je vais vous conduire, madame. Non, non, merci. Non, j'insiste.
Tu sais comment on appelle quelqu'un comme ton papa? Un gentleman. C'est vrai.
It's inspired by Arsène Lupin, gentleman cambrioleur. And yeah, we use the English word and we say gentleman.
Yeah, the first time I heard that, I didn't understand what it was at all.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about Arsène Lupin?
No.
No, never? Yeah. We grew up with it. Of course, there's the books, but we had cartoons too. That was really cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it, you know, before coming to France.
I guess it's also what you were talking about, where when we pronounce an English word, we kind of do a mix of English and French pronunciation. So it's not gentleman. Maybe some people would say that, but it's gentleman. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of both. I just want to do a quick break to talk about Omar Sy, because I don't know if the international community or whatever, if you know about him, because he's one of the most like famous comedians. Yeah. So he started as a comedian. Like he would do sketches on TV, and they were a comedic duo.
Après-vente, mesdames et messieurs. Service après-vente, bonjour.
Eh, vous me reconnaissez?
Non.
Mais si, c'est moi, là. Quand on me demande comment étaient mes vacances, je réponds tip top.
Service après-vente, bonjour.
Oui, bonjour, monsieur. Ah
J'ai eu peur, hein. Heureusement, c'est pas moi qui est mort. Hein.
Service après-vente, bonjour.
Dis donc. Tu viens bien aux soirées, là?
Bah non, j'ai pas le temps.
Ah bah t'es loupé, on a fait une soirée boys band.
Ça va bien?
Ça va, oui,
Alors, qu'est-ce que tu nous as préparé?
J'ai apporté mon créature et scooter de mer.
Mais c'est pas un scooter des mers. Un scooter des mers, il n'y a pas des trucs comme ça.
Arrête! Petite caméra derrière et Marine Le Pen. Un mot ou un geste à lui adresser. On est français! On est français! On est français!
Vive la République!
Et vive la France!
Yeah.
It's really iconic. And then he started acting in movies, and then most notably he did Intouchable. Ça l'a propulsé, like how would you say that?
Just really, it was like his biggest hit, I guess. That's probably where most French students know him from.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now he lives in LA. I don't know. He's like living his American dream. So it's really cool. We really, like, we all love Omar Sy so much. All France is just really proud of him because he comes from really humble background. So yeah, that's really cool.
Et c'était sans compter avec la ténacité d'Hubert Pellegrini qui a traqué et recherché chacun des joyaux. Et aujourd'hui, le collier reconstitué est enfin de retour chez lui, ici, à Paris. Mesdames et messieurs, chers amis, je vous demande d'accueillir la fille de son propriétaire, la délicieuse Juliette Pellegrini.
Kind of a weird thing to say, la délicieuse. Yeah, don't say that.
It's usually something they use in really formal situation. I think we heard who said it, and I remember you reacted. It was
sounds familiar.
like a politician said that.
Oh yeah, someone said something about, okay, so Macron was somewhere and he said, your delicious wife.
Oh, he said it in English.
Something like that.
He translated it. It didn't work at all. Yeah.
But I wanted to thank you for your welcome. Thank you and your delicious wife for your warm welcome.
But is that a common thing to say?
La délicieuse. It's not common. Like, you're not gonna say that in everyday life.
But in this kind of setting, like this.
Yeah, it is. It's.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know if our generation today would like that, because it's maybe.
It's kind of weird.
Maybe a bit objectifying. I don't know. I mean, it is a lot. I guess it's words you hear or read, I guess, in literature, and it's like really pretty. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna live on.
C'est toi le fils du type qui conduit mon père? Moi, c'est Juliette.
That's like a really kind of informal way to say your name, because we learn in school, oh, je m'appelle, like, yeah, but a lot of times we'll say moi c'est, and then your name. Moi c'est Charlie.
Yeah, I would never say je m'appelle, like.
Ever?
I don't think so. Je m'appelle Maïa. Or maybe if we were in a group setting.
Like a business meeting
like
or something?
Maybe, but honestly, I'll mostly say moi c'est Maïa. Like, if I want to be more formal, I'll be like, je me présente, moi c'est Maïa.
But of course, all that depends on your socio-economic background.
Exactly, where you grew
your
up.
Your age, all of that.
Dis-moi, Hassan, c'est vrai ce qu'on dit sur les blagues?
Quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu racontes là?
Paraît qu'ils savent pas nager.
Je sais nager.
Ah ouais? Bah fais voir.
Alright, so there are a few things there. So she said les blagues, which is really common. It really depends on the person. Like, just be careful with saying something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Bah fais voir.
Also, another thing, she said fais voir, which is kind of like, let me see, or like, I want to see, like, make me see almost.
Yeah, but it means like, let me see.
Yeah, and you can, all it is like fais, and then, you know, you conjugate it as a command, and you just use the infinitive, like fais voir. Or if there's like a song you like, I'll say, oh, fais écouter, fais écouter. You know, like, let me hear it, as in kind of like, make me hear it, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Or like, if someone was coming to Paris, they might say, ah, tu vas me faire visiter Paris, right? Tu me fais visiter Paris, right?
And so yeah, it's something that I love sharing with my private French students.
Yeah, we use the word faire a lot in French. So sometimes when we speak in English, we will translate and we will use make a lot. Like sometimes I do that too, and I would say I'll make you taste, or can you make me taste what you're eating or whatever? And you're like, no, that just doesn't work. It's too forceful.
Yeah, but just be careful with your tone, because it is a command, right? So if you were just to say that to someone with like the tone like kind of off, it might be a bit rude. Or if I was saying that to someone I don't know, I would say something like, oh, est-ce que je peux voir? Like, this is more for very informal, like someone that I know.
Yeah.
Or est-ce que je peux écouter? Something like that.
Yeah.
Centrale, on va checker les vestiaires.
Checker.
Yeah, we use that word a lot. Checker.
Yeah, not standard French.
No.
Bonjour. Les mecs, c'est pas instantané.
Just a quick thing too about les mecs. So I guess in English you would say, hey guys, you know.
Yeah.
In French, if you say mec, it's just singular. So you can say mec, viens, on y va.
It means like dude or like guy, kind of.
I guess you wouldn't say guy, let's go. You'd say dude.
Hey dude, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So we can say mec, viens, just for one person. But if you have like two or more friends, you have to say les mecs. You can't say mec plural. It doesn't work. So hey les mecs. It could be les gars. Hey les gars, on y va.
Yeah, so short for garçon, but you say it like ga. You don't get that gar, even though it's written with that r. You don't pronounce the r. I think it's like ga.
Yeah, yeah.
And then or like les copains or les amis, kind of like that.
7 minutes.
Nous sommes à 40 millions d'euros. Est-ce que j'ai une enchère à 41 millions d'euros? 41 millions d'euros, monsieur.
Caméra off.
Yeah, so maybe it's something that a lot of French students don't know, but there's a lot of English in like modern French. They use a lot of words like that, like ouf, even though you know they have a French word for it. Or like a second ago when we said checker, I guess because you know French people, they hear like American music, or like you know they're used to hear like watching TV shows in English, and so they kind of get these words.
Yeah. Most of the time it's also way shorter. Like it's easier to say caméra off que caméra éteinte, or you know.
Pardon, monsieur, les enchères sont déjà à vous.
Certes. Mais je trouve que cette vente traîne un petit peu.
Mesdames et messieurs, 60.
Moi, je respire pas là-dedans.
Enchérisseur pour le collier de la reine.
T'as pas peur qu'il me double? T'inquiète, on va le doubler avant.
Yeah, t'inquiète is a really common
Yeah.
thing to say. So I guess the full sentence would be ne t'inquiète pas,
Yeah.
but we say t'inquiète. So it sounds weird because it sounds like you're saying worry, but actually it's short for ne t'inquiète pas.
Yeah, it means don't worry, right? But if you use the vous form, you're going to say ne vous inquiétez pas. Yeah, so t'inquiète for your friends, and then ne vous inquiétez pas for if you're going to use a vous form.
Bien, mais tout me semble en ordre, donc je vous remercie. Je dois reconnaître, monsieur Cernine, que je ne m'attendais pas du tout à un acquéreur comme vous.
Comment?
C'est-à-dire? Eh bien, mais enfin, aussi jeune.
Cool things here too. C'est-à-dire means what do you mean? And there's a cool filler word here. Enfin, aussi jeune. It would be enfin, aussi jeune. I do use it a lot today still, but there was a time in my life where I would use it like way too much. It's one of those filler words that get abused. Yeah, fin.
Bah nous on n'a pas du tout cours en présentiel, c'est-à-dire que en fait limite on n'a pas vraiment d'interaction sociale. C'est hyper dur de se raccrocher à quelque chose, de pas rigoler, de pas avoir de relations entre copines. Enfin, franchement c'est dur.
Si je pouvais le voir. À ce prix-là, jetez un petit coup d'œil. Ce collier est mon bébé désormais, vous comprenez? Certes.
So whenever you're watching something and you're trying to like use a video to learn French, you always want to think of the context, right? So he just bought this thing for like 60 million euros. So obviously they're going to be speaking French a little bit more formally than when he was in, that guy's apartment hanging out on the balcony, all right?
Yeah. And I guess the show makes it a little bit cliche where they really use like super street like all the slang words imaginable to talk about money in the apartment.
Yeah.
And here he uses the word certes, which is like super formal, and we kind of joke around in French like, oh, certes, when we want to play that role, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really the stereotypical word to use when you want to be like overly formal.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, they'll hear something somewhere and they think that it's said like that all the time, and it's not really the case. You got to look at the context and who said it and why, and really kind of analyze a little bit.
Yeah. So we wouldn't advise for you to use the word certes. That's way too formal and you will sound a bit weird.
Especially if you're mixing like la thune and fric and words like that with bah oui, certes.
It doesn't really make any sense.
Bonsoir monsieur, police nationale.
Ça?
Si vous voulez pas là, coupez le moteur.
Oui, bien sûr.
Là, faut penser à la planète un petit peu.
Exactement.
Ouais, bonne soirée.
You see how there's so many sentences that start with just the verb directly without the subject? Faut penser à la planète.
Well, it should be il faut, but a lot of times, they kind of slur and like take that part out. That's a really cool one to know. Like il faut, and then just an infinitive after, it's super easy, right? It's just like one should do this thing, right? Il faut penser, like one should think. Or like sometimes I'll just say il faut pas, like, one shouldn't, kind of like we shouldn't do that, or
il faut pas faire ça.
Yeah, il faut pas. But yeah, that was that. If you have any questions, let us know down in the comments. Maybe we'll react to other episodes of this show.
Tell us if you also want us to keep watching Emily in Paris, because we kind of stopped.
Yeah, if you want more conversational French, check out our free e-course at StreetFrench.org. We're also really present on Instagram. We post every day.
And if you want to support the project, support StreetFrench.org and support us. We have a Patreon account. Check out La Chute du E. We have a phonetic series.
And there's also how to ask questions in French, like asking backwards, not using inversions, that sort of thing.
That's it for today, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Salut.
Salut.